Venezuela. When most people hear the name, they think collapsed economy, political chaos, and endless crisis. A country that fell apart, right? Well, not exactly. Because while Venezuela's economy struggles, it sits on the largest proven oil reserves on the planet. 303 billion barrels. That's bigger than Saudi Arabia, bigger than Iran, bigger than anyone. At current prices, that's 17.3 trillion sitting in the ground. And that's just the oil. Beneath Venezuela's soil lies gold, rare earth minerals, bauxite, iron ore, and fresh water reserves that could reshape global supply chains for the next century. This isn't just another South American nation. It's become one of the most strategically significant countries that major powers are closely watching. Today, you're about to discover 12 facts that explain exactly why Venezuela's geography and why the resources beneath its soil matter so much to the modern world. Hey, before we dive in, be sure to subscribe and leave a like so you don't miss more insights into the geography that shapes global power. Number 12. The largest oil reserves on Earth. Venezuela holds 303 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, roughly 18% of the world's total supply. Read that number again. Saudi Arabia has 297 billion barrels. Venezuela has more oil than the Middle East's most proven powerful producer. At current global consumption, Venezuela alone could supply the entire world for a decade. Here's a fun way to think about it. If Venezuela's oil was a country's GDP, it would be the third richest nation on Earth. Except, it's not a country. It's just what's buried underground. If you stood above the Orinoco oil belt where most of this oil sits, you'd be standing on more concentrated energy wealth than exists anywhere else on Earth. Number 11. The Orinoco Belt, a geological superpower. The bulk of Venezuela's oil sits in the Orinoco oil belt, a massive geological formation stretching across eastern Venezuela. This single region contains an estimated 900 to 1.4 billion barrels of heavy crude. Let that sink in. The Orinoco Belt is one of the largest hydrocarbon accumulations ever discovered. The Orinoco Belt is so massive that if you drove across its entire length, you'd spend longer in the car than it takes to fly from New York to London. The problem? This oil is extremely heavy, closer to molasses than liquid petroleum, requiring specialized refining. But the sheer volume makes it impossible for major energy markets to ignore. Number 10. Why China invested billions. China has loaned Venezuela over $60 billion since 2007. Wait, what? Why would China invest so heavily? Because China is the world's largest oil importer, and most of its supply travels through narrow maritime routes. For China, Venezuela offers something critical: a backup energy supply in the Western Hemisphere. While most of China's oil comes through narrow sea routes into Southeast Asia, Venezuela's oil provides geographic diversification. This explains why Chinese state companies built refineries, infrastructure, and economic ties throughout Venezuela. Number 9. The Caribbean Choke Point. Venezuela's geographic location along the Caribbean coast gives it control over critical shipping lanes. Look at Venezuela's coastline on a map. Every container ship heading to the Panama Canal passes by. Control Venezuela's coast, and you have access to routes carrying 40% of global trade. If you sailed through the Caribbean toward the Panama Canal, you'd pass directly along Venezuela's northern shore. There's no way around it. The Caribbean Sea connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Panama Canal and the Gulf of Mexico, making Venezuela's position geographically irreplaceable. Number 8. 8,000 tons of gold resources. Venezuela holds an estimated 8,000 tons of gold resources, concentrated mostly in the Guiana Shield in the southeast. Yeah, you heard that right. That's more than the official gold reserves of the United States. These gold deposits formed over 1.7 billion years ago when ancient volcanic activity and tectonic forces created one of the Earth's oldest rock formations. In a world where central banks are diversifying their reserves, gold has become strategic collateral. Venezuela's gold isn't just wealth. It's geographical treasure that took billions of years to create. Number 7. The heavy crude problem. Here's the crazy part. Venezuela's oil comes with a catch. It's some of the heaviest crude on Earth, requiring expensive refining and blending before it can be used. Unlike Saudi Arabia's light crude, Venezuelan oil must be processed by specialized refineries, many located in the United States Gulf Coast. This creates a paradox. Venezuela has the largest reserves, but depends on foreign infrastructure to turn that oil into usable fuel. That's why trade restrictions have been so impactful. They cut off Venezuela's ability to refine and sell its own oil, leaving trillions of dollars locked underground. Number 6. Russian economic presence. Russia has established technical and economic partnerships in Venezuela, including infrastructure projects and energy sector cooperation. For Russia, having partnerships in South America extends its economic reach beyond its immediate borders, a goal Russia has pursued in the Western Hemisphere since the Cold War. Venezuela's geographic position in South America, combined with its vast energy resources, makes it an attractive partner for countries seeking to expand their economic influence in the region. Here's the thing, we're only halfway through and you're already seeing why Venezuela isn't just another struggling economy. It's a place where geology, geography, and natural resources converge in extraordinary ways. And the next facts get even more fascinating. So subscribe and hit the like button to keep learning how geography shapes global power. Number 5. Natural gas, the untapped reserve. It's estimated that Venezuela holds over 2 trillion cubic feet of proven natural gas reserves, enough to make it one of the top 10 gas-rich nations on Earth. Yet almost none of it is developed. The gas is either flared, re-injected into oil wells, or left untapped because Venezuela lacks the infrastructure to export it. Just think about that. If you unlocked Venezuela's natural gas, you could create an entirely new energy export economy. The gas formed in the same geological process that created the oil, ancient organic matter compressed over millions of years. The gas is there. The question is, when will it be developed? Number 4. The freshwater advantage. Venezuela controls approximately 2% of the world's renewable freshwater through its river systems, including parts of the Amazon basin and the Orinoco River. That's more freshwater than all of Central America combined. Let that sink in. If you stood on the banks of the Orinoco River watching millions of gallons flow past every second, you'd be witnessing one of the planet's most valuable resources in an age of water scarcity. The Orinoco is the 3rd largest river in South America, carrying more water than the Mississippi River. Freshwater is emerging as a resource on par with oil, and Venezuela's hydrology makes it water-rich in a climate-constrained world. Number 3. Critical minerals for the green energy transition. Beneath Venezuela's Guiana Shield lie largely untapped deposits of nickel, copper, coltan, bauxite, rare earth elements, and lithium, the exact minerals needed for batteries, solar panels, wind turbines, and electric vehicles. Venezuela claims to have 340 million tons of nickel. And here's the crazy part. As the world transitions away from fossil fuels, control over these minerals becomes increasingly valuable. If you explored the Guiana Shield region where these minerals sit, you'd be walking over deposits that could power billions of electric vehicles. These minerals formed over billions of years through volcanic activity and geological processes that created one of the Earth's oldest continental shields. Number 2. The $17 trillion question. At current oil prices of roughly $57 per barrel, Venezuela's 303 billion barrels of proven reserves are valued at approximately $17.3 trillion. Read that number again. That's larger than the GDP of every country except the United States and China. Even at half price, these reserves would still be worth nearly $9 trillion, 4 times Japan's entire economy. This is why Venezuela's geology matters so much. No matter how its economy performs, the sheer value of what lies beneath Venezuelan soil, created over 1 million years of geological processes, represents one of the largest concentrations of energy wealth on the planet. And number 1, the geographic combination that exists nowhere else. Well, after 12 facts, here's the truth. Venezuela matters because it combines energy dominance, strategic location, and resource diversity in a way no other nation in the Western Hemisphere can match. It sits on more oil than Saudi Arabia. It holds gold deposits that formed 1.7 billion years ago. It controls shipping lanes connecting the Atlantic to the Pacific, and it possesses the minerals needed for the next industrial revolution. The Orinoco Oil Belt formed over a period of 100 million years. The Caribbean coastline provides access to global trade routes. The freshwater systems rival some of the largest in South America, and the critical minerals sit in one of the Earth's oldest geological formations. This combination of geographic advantages exists nowhere else in the Western Hemisphere. What these 12 facts reveal is that Venezuela's geography created extraordinary value. The oil reserves alone would be enough to make it strategically significant. But when you add gold deposits formed over billions of years, natural gas fields mirroring proven results elsewhere, critical minerals for modern technology, massive freshwater systems, and a Caribbean coastline on major shipping routes, you have a geographic combination that exists nowhere else in the Western Hemisphere. Geography doesn't care about politics or economics. It just creates value wherever the right conditions converge. And in Venezuela's case, those conditions converged in ways that made the country impossible for major powers to ignore. Not because of its government, but because of what Earth created beneath its soil, and where that soil happens to sit on the map. After learning these 12 facts about Venezuela, tell us which one surprised you the most about the country's geography and natural resources. Leave it down below in the comments. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe and give it a like so we can keep exploring how geography shapes the world. See you in the next one.